Hello and welcome to the Tough Cover Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mark Henry Jr. You could follow me at Mark Henry Jr. _ and you could follow the podcast at Tough Cover Pod, and you can follow the Painted Lines at the Painted Lines. All of that is in the link in the bio of this YouTube video. Rough day yesterday here on the Tough Cover Podcast, but we are still well into the positive, well into the green for the month of October. And let's get into some football bets. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving in the positive direction. For 1 o'clock on the NFL slate, I like the Green Bay Packers -4.5 at the Chicago Bears for 3 units. I have the Packers here because it's pretty simple. Aaron Rodgers dominates the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers dominate the Chicago Bears. Packers have won 19 of their last 22 against Chicago, 16 by a touchdown or more. Aaron Rodgers is 18-7 straight up or against the spread, and 9-3 in Chicago against the spread, 21-4 straight up against the Bears. Rodgers is 39-22 against the spread as a division favorite, and 55-29-1 as a one-score favorite. So this is a spot Rodgers has done very well in the past and should continue to do well in here. Packers are 4-0 against the spread and straight up in their last 4 games. LaFleur is 4-0 against the spread against Chicago. All of the numbers are pointing towards Green Bay here. I got it at 4.5. It's up towards 5.5 or 6 points. I would still take it anywhere under a touchdown. The Bears are being overvalued here off of a win against a Raiders team that was in absolute turmoil with the Gruden situation and him staying to coach on Sunday. Packers absolutely roll here per usual. Packers -4.5 at the Bears for 3 units. I think they cement themselves and assert themselves as a bit of a Super Bowl contender in these next coming weeks. My next bet and my best bet, my play of the day, is the over 54 in KC, Washington. I actually, earlier on in the week, I bet it at 54.5 for 3 units. I also have it at 54 for 6 units. This is technically a 9-unit play here for me. This is, in fact, the highest total of the week, and with good reason. Either Vegas is fully adjusted to the trend we've been on here on the Tough Cover Podcast, and I'm sure everyone's been on, of Washington football team overs, or they're just playing the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are ranked first in offensive DVOA, but last in defensive DVOA, while WFT is 28th in defensive DVOA. Washington has given up 33, 30, and 41 points in their last 3 games. Washington is 9th against the run, but they are 29th against the pass, and even worse, they rank 31st in allowing opponents to convert 56.16% of their third down plays. That is not going to work against Patrick Mahomes. Washington comes in allowing 31 points per game, while KC comes in scoring 31 points per game. So despite all of the talk of Mahomes turning the ball over, he's just behind Matthew Stafford at 75.1 for the league lead in total QBR and second in scoring. I think the KC Chiefs the KC Chiefs freak out is a little crazy to me. We got Mr. Crockpot chiming in. What are the chances Miami loses to Jacksonville today? And good morning from Nashville. Good morning to you too, Dibes. I'm sure you're hungover, tuning in at 8:55. I guess it's 7:55 over there. So you're up early over there in Nashville. But what are the chances Miami loses to Tennessee? I think they're really high. I actually liked Jacksonville a lot when this was the Jacoby Brissett game. Anytime I get a chance to bet against Jacoby Brissett and take points while doing it, I'll absolutely do that anytime and twice on Sunday. But with the Tua news, him coming back, I know people don't love Tua. I know he's not very good. I do think he's much better than Brissett. So it makes it a tough bet for me. I ended up staying away. I do believe I'm playing Trevor Lawrence in one league in fantasy, though. So I'm hoping for a big day from Jacksonville offensively. And I think it could. I think they could. Jacksonville could unlock that offense that I thought that they could earlier on in the year. James Robinson has been playing really well at running back. They've got a couple good receivers in Shenault and Marvin Jones. They need Trevor Lawrence to step up and play well. He's been playing better as we go along. That O-line needs to play better with him today against still a tough Miami defense. So let's move on to my next bet. I like the Cincinnati Bengals -3 at the Detroit Lions for 3 units. Through 5 games this season, Joe Burrow has completed 71.7% of his passes for almost 1,300 yards and 11 touchdown passes. This week, he'll go against a Lions team, that currently ranks 29th in total defensive DVOA, including 27th in pass DVOA. So I think this is a bad matchup for Detroit going against Cincinnati. And the Lions' rush defense is also ranking 28th in rush DVOA through 5 games. So Joe Mixon struggled last week. He's been banged up. We'll see if Joe Mixon can get going today against Detroit. I would bet that he can. So maybe any DFS people out there, any fantasy people out there making a decision on Joe Mixon, I think he has a good day. Goff has the lowest averaged completed air yards for any starter in the NFL, the lowest air yard differential, and the lowest longest completed air yards in the NFL. This guy's going dink and dunk on the extreme here. The Lions also rank second lowest in pass frequency, showing they don't trust Goff much. But the downside to that is they have one of the most inefficient running games in football. They actually lead the NFL in first down rushes, which a lot of analytics people absolutely hate. They hate these teams that are running the ball on first down. The Lions became the first team to lose 2 games in the same season on game-winning kicks of 50-plus yards with no time left on the clock, and they've done it in the last 3 weeks. So they're the first team that's done it in a full season. They've done it in 3 weeks. It's pretty unbelievable. Both teams get a chance here to bounce back from absolutely just debilitating defeats that can send your season into a tailspin. I think the Bengals bounce back. I don't think the Lions bounce back. I think the Bengals move to 4-2, while the Lions move to 0-6. And with the short line of a field goal, I will absolutely fade the Lions and ride with the Bengals here to win and cover. So let's get on to another game. I kind of hate this bet. At 405, I have the Arizona Cardinals +4 at the Browns for 2 units. I hate this pick. When I made it, it was directly after the Nick Chubb injury and before the Cliff Kingsbury news. I think the Browns are the better team. I really do, which makes it tough for me to take Arizona on such a close spread. But the Chubb Hunt combo is such a big part of what Cleveland does that it made me take Arizona with the points when I heard Chubb was out. Shitty weather conditions that could help Cleveland's style of play would help them more if they had a guy like Chubb back there, but they still do have Kareem Hunt, who they say they're not gonna really increase his workload all that much. That'll remain to be seen if it's a close game or if they're up. I'd be curious to see what happens. But maybe I in Vegas are undervaluing the Cardinals at 5-0, and they are the last remaining undefeated team. And their defense is not getting enough credit, in my opinion. Arizona is 4th in defensive DVOA. I think this could be a low-scoring game due to the rain, due to the conditions and the wind. I'll take the 4 points. I wouldn't necessarily suggest this game out there. It's on my card, so I have to tell you guys what I'm betting. But that's a tight one. I ever since the Kingsbury news and ever since some of the stuff I've read, I've kind of hated my own pick there. But let's get to a pick I don't hate. Let's get to my last game of the day that I'm straight betting, and a game that I absolutely love. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. I got 3 bets here. I've got Raiders +4 at the Broncos for 2 units. I've got Raiders +170 on the money line for 3 units. And I've got Broncos team total under 24.5 for 2 units. I love the Raiders here in this spot for 3 reasons. One is the John Gruden resignation and Rick Bisaccia being a longtime coach that the players will galvanize behind and come out fired up for. I love taking teams after coaches are fired or resign. There's usually a new level of effort and intensity that the team, they're showing something, they're trying to prove themselves to the new coach and staff. I think we see that today with the Raiders. 2, I think the Broncos are frauds. I've always thought they were frauds, even when people were trying to crown them after beating the Giants and the Jets. And 3, the Raiders have Derek Carr and the Broncos don't. An interesting stat to watch for here that the Raiders have gotten down early a lot in games and had to fight back. They've been successful sometimes, other times not so much. But that might not be the case here. The Broncos have not scored an opening drive touchdown in 21 games under second-year offensive coordinator Pat Shurmur. And their skid of 24 games without one is the longest current streak in the NFL. And we think the Eagles start slow. Pat Shurmur and the Broncos out there are moving at a snail's pace. I think the Raiders will avoid getting down early and cruise and cover the spread and win the game outright. And I'm also on Broncos team total under 24.5, which is an important football number over that number 24. The Broncos only average 20 points per game and have failed to even reach that the last 2 weeks with 17-9 and have scored under this total in 3 of their last 4 games. So I really think that I really like the Raiders here. I really don't think the Broncos offense is one that scares me very much at all. So that concludes my straight bets. I do have a couple parlays here. So I'm not a round robin guy. I know my buddy Pat Moran has done a bunch of round robins. The Bengals, Packers, and Cowboys, I have them parlayed every which way. I have them all, I have Bengals, Packers, Cowboys +260, a 2.5 unit parlay. a money line parlay between the Bengals and Cowboys at plus 140 for 1.5 units, a money line parlay between the Packers and Cowboys for 1.5 units at plus 130, and a money line parlay between the Bengals and Packers for 2 units at plus 137. However you like to parlay Bengals, Packers, Cowboys, money lines. If you do round robins, if you don't, I like all three of those teams to win. I obviously took the Bengals and Packers spread wise. I didn't touch Dallas' spread because they're the 425, so they're banking a lot of these parlays. So I'm hoping that the Bengals win or the Packers win or they both win, and I have a couple parlays riding on the Dallas Cowboys money line over the New England Patriots. They're 3.5 point favorites over the Pats, which I think is far too low, but I would prefer to take that game on the money line because we do know Belichick keeps it close. Look how he was with Tampa Bay. So I would like to prefer to keep that on the money line. That's why I threw that in parlays with the Packers and Bengals, who I'm confident in to take the spread and to take the money line. But those are my picks. So let's run them down in case anyone's joining late. At 1 o'clock, I like the Packers minus 4.5 at the Bears for 3 units. I also like over 54.5 in Kansas City, Washington for 3 units, and over 54 in Kansas City, Washington for 6 units. I have the Bengals minus 3 at the Lions for 3 units. At 405, I have the Cardinals plus 4 at the Browns for 2 units. At 425, I have the Raiders plus 4 at the Broncos for 2 units. The Raiders plus 170 on the money line at the Broncos for 3 units. And the Broncos team total under 24.5. And I have those parlays involving the Bengals, Packers, and Cowboys money lines, however you want to bet them. So thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the Tough Cover Click. Oh, I messed up the click sign there. But we will be back next Saturday. There actually may be a special episode breaking down NBA over and unders on the win totals this week before tip off. So watch out for that. Watch out for my Twitter at Mark Henry Jr. _. I'll keep you updated on that. But for today, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the winners.